something a little bit different today because the last feedback that I got was to basically just summarize the key points. I put out if you go in the community section of YouTube, you'll see a survey that I did asking if you guys prefer 5 to 15 minute videos or if you prefer longer videos where I read the whole entire thing. So far, the survey or the poll is showing that you guys prefer the shorter videos. So I'm just going to be going forward with that for all my book readings and my Quranic readings and everything else as well. If you guys can't hear me, just let me know in the comments and I'll just try to fix my audio or if anything goes south. But it's 8:30 and we don't have any time to waste today because I didn't get to come on time for everything. So yeah, we are in the age of short memory and short attention. You're right. You're right, Tesla. Okay, thanks for being my first person. Thanks for being so supportive. Love you. Anyways, so today we're going to look into chapter 2 of people who think on the nature of God. That's the topic, the nature of God. So basically, before we even start, we want to look at Surah Ikhlas. So let me pull it up, the English translation, and read it for you guys. It's going to be verses 1 to 4. Majority of people already know this one because it's a pretty short one, but it says, "Say, O Prophet, He is Allah one, all Allah the Sustainer. He has never had an offspring, nor was he born, and there is to none comparable to him." Okay, so that's the main message of this, like, second chapter of People Who Think, right? The main message is that we should we should understand what is the nature of Allah, and that's the nature of Allah. It sums it up perfectly in Surah Al Ikhlas. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. My bad if I am, but let's dive into it. So the message of this chapter on what is the nature of Allah is we should never let our sins or like our shortcomings stop us from returning to Allah, calling on to Him or seeking His guidance because sometimes, sometimes it can feel like certain people in our community might make it feel or seem, especially as reverts, that if we slip up or if we do something that might not go again, that might go against cultural norms for what Muslims are supposed to be, then we're considered less Muslims. Um, but this couldn't be like any farther from what the truth is, right? Because today I have learned, well, not today, but I don't remember what day it was this week. I heard from a revert, and I hope they don't mind me sharing their story. I heard from a revert in a comment section of someone video who basically shared that they want to embrace Islam, and this is so sad. But they received so much negativity from the Muslim community that it made them feel unworthy. Can you imagine? It made them feel unworthy. Like, this is so heartbreaking, like, especially since I feel like reverts deserve compassion, support, and understanding from the Muslim community as a whole. And the journey into Islam should be one of acceptance and love, not of judgment, not of, haram police. And unfortunately, some people are more focused on policing others rather than offering a helping hand. And at the end of the day, only Allah knows where each of us will end up. We can't assume who will enter heaven or who will enter hell. And our ultimate place is our ultimate place is Allah. Like, He's who we end up to in the end of the day. Like, you can read the Quran and you could still stray and go to hell, or you can make a mistake and you could still find your way to paradise, inshallah. Islam isn't about being perfect. So what is the nature of Allah? It's about His mercy. He's merciful. Like, how much times over and over again does the Quran express and just screams how merciful Allah is, right? This is shown like even by the angel Gabriel, like Jibril, who was like when Pharaoh, I think I don't remember the specific like source. You guys have to look into this yourself. But Pharaoh was at the bottom of the ocean, and Jibril basically like kicked sand in his mouth because he was scared that if he asked for forgiveness in that moment, that Allah would forgive him. Isn't that crazy? That's how merciful Allah is, that the first angel knew it himself how merciful Allah is, right? That someone like Pharaoh who did so much horrible things could have been forgiven. You know, like, yo, crazy. But anyways, I'm going on and completely going off track here. But as I was saying, this is crucial for both reverts and Muslim to understand. Allah isn't expecting perfection from us. He understands our human nature. He understands that we fall short, and he understands that we make mistakes. And as it mentions also in Surah, um, I think, I don't know, I think it was 429, you know, I believe it's 429. Allah created us knowing our weaknesses. What matters in Islam is our sincerity, our character, and striving to do our best. Because turning back to Allah, showing gratitude, and making sincere efforts is what truly counts. Allah is merciful. He's forgiving. His doors is always open. So the matter of the fact is, I don't want anyone to ever feel like what anyone says to them should stop them from coming to Islam, because no one has the right to tell us who could be Muslim or not. Okay? If you are following the five pillars, if you took your Shahada, if you are doing what your very best, you know, and you're doing what's needed to be done, then you're Muslim. If you're practicing on becoming a better Muslim every day, mashallah. But the last thing that was said in like about the nature of God, about Allah, but the biggest thing was like him being merciful. Was there was a authentic hadith that can be found. I think it's in Hadith Qudsi 15. I'm probably saying that wrong too. It's Qud SI 15. And that was like definitely mentioned. So to pull up really quickly, because we only have a few minutes, right? Because this is only going to be 15 to 20 minutes. I want to pull up something that the author said for you guys to take this from here, right? I'm going to read this part 1 second. So pull this up. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So it says, God has not left mankind entirely in the dark, regarding his nature. He refers to himself by approximating 100 names in various places throughout the final book. Each name is a description and attribute of God, and are all meant to help us understand the creator. So in the past, I actually posted those 100 names of Allah, and I highly recommend going back to that video. It's in one of my shorts to look at what those 100 names of Allah is. We're working on creating a Quizlet on our Quizlet hub, for you guys to be able to practice and learn about the 100 names of Allah. So if you really want to know about what Allah is, you should understand those 100 names of Allah and study those 100 names of Allah. Okay, that's one of the big things that this chapter like talks about as well. And the author goes on by saying, like, some of the benefit of knowing these names is that they'll provide us with basically a way for us to have an ideal of like what we should try to aim to be or attain, like, if we are Muslims, we should also try to be most forgiving, we should also be most patient, we should also be most knowledgeable. Just want to emphasize on that one, because a lot of Muslims are not like picking up on that one right there. But yeah, the one that is said the most is that he's merciful, that he's one, those are the like two things that you be hearing the most in the Quran, how merciful He is, and that He is one God, the only God, the ultimate God. He is Allah. So that is the nature of God, right? Anyways, thanks for listening today. I hope that you either learned something new, that you were reminded of something old, or you were inspired to judge less and help more when it comes to your fellow Muslims or reverts. Next week, we're going to be going into the next chapter of this book, which is the nature of man, me and you. And I'm so grateful for everyone that has watched this video or listened to this later on. Please, in the comments, like, subscribe, and share, and be peaceful in the comments. Make sure, like, if you did learn something or if this made you like have a different perspective, say something in the comments for me so that we could build up the engagement and get this to more people. And just keep it civil in the comments, please. And, may Allah just all guide us to the truth, which we all need. I think I just want to wrap this up by saying what we went over today, right? Um, what we went over today is understanding the true nature of Allah is that He's one and He's the most merciful. That's it. And because we are followers of Allah, we should also be most merciful. Like, we should practice to be merciful and understanding, and we should practice to live according to how Allah wants us to live, but also give us that grace because we're human and understand that Allah is understanding. I hope that wasn't too confusing. It would have been a lot more easier if I just read the chapter for you guys. But I know you guys just wanted a summary. I did my very best to summarize this. I don't know, Tess, how did you think that summary of what the nature of Allah was useful? Okay, I'm guessing that's good. That's a yes. Okay, so that's it, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, I'm actually going to hop on to the Quranic reading one right after this. It's supposed to start at 9, but I think because I ended so early with this one, I'm just gonna hop on to this next one in about 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes to get my Quran, and then I'll be on that one shortly. Thanks. See you there. Bye.